Earlier this month, KPBS reported YMCA's corporate board hired a consultant to oversee an investigation into mismanagement allegations. KPBS investigative reporter Amita Sharma joins me with an update as more information emerges. And Amita, you reported that one of the allegations against YMCA CEO and president and some of his executives was about poor treatment of the staff. What have you learned?
Well, sources who spoke to me on the condition of anonymity told me that the investigator questioned them about turnover among high-level staff. Several long-term, well-regarded executive directors at YMCA branches and other senior managers have been forced to resign for reasons that remain unexplained. And in some cases, there have been confidentiality agreements with these exits and possible payouts according to public documents. Calista Davis was a chief human resources officer and an executive vice president. She left with a $236,000 payment. Alfredo Velasco, who was an executive director at the Palomar YMCA, left with a $136,000 payment. We wanted to speak to YMCA president and CEO Baron Hertelin Doherty about these exits. He declined to speak to us through a spokeswoman.
Well, now the YMCA in San Diego County is the largest organization, is a very large organization, I should say, with several thousand employees. So it may not seem that unusual for employees to leave or get laid off. So what's so notable about these exits? Is it the money?
Well, that's a fair question. So what is notable is that back in 2010, the YMCA of San Diego County came out with a 5-year strategic plan. And one of its goals was to boost diversity among upper management to better reflect some of the communities that the YMCA serves in South San Diego and in the southern part of the county. Well, sources say that several of the executive directors and other senior managers who've been forced to leave actually were minorities who spoke second languages, and that they have been replaced by Anglo people who did not speak a second language. Now, an internal document was also given to me that shows that the goal between 2010 and 2015 was to boost diversity from 22% to 30%, but that actually diversity has gone down from 22% to 20% or lower among upper management at the Y.
Is there anything else being investigated at the YMCA?
Contracts with vendors. There is a policy at the YMCA that requires branches to buy 85% of their cardio exercise equipment from a vendor called Precor. This policy came down at the same time that the YMCA's regional vice president was in a relationship with a sales representative at Precor. Secondly, there have been problems with new software at the YMCA. This software was designed by a company called Daxco. This comes after a task force was put together to choose a company to provide software services. That task force chose a company other than Daxco. But an executive with the YMCA told the corporate board that staff actually recommended Daxco, and so they went with Daxco, and now there are problems with that software.
So what does this have to do actually with everyone who, or anyone who is actually going to the Y to work out?
Fair question. Everything. The YMCA of San Diego County is the second largest in the country. It's got 15 branches. It's the 7th largest employer in the county, and it served 400,000 people last year through its childcare programs, its sports programs, its youth programs, exercise programs, other programs. And sources say that this strife at the top of the organization has distracted the Y from its mission, that they are not boosting membership as much as they should be, that they are not doing enough outreach programs, and that they're turning the Y into a sort of spa/fitness type of place and simply aren't reaching poor kids and others who need the Y. Now, Hertelin Doherty says, look, membership has gone up 14% and family memberships have gone up 22%.
And very quickly, we have to end on this. What's the status of the investigation today?
Well, that investigation, according to sources, has wrapped up. It's likely a topic of conversation at today's corporate board meeting. investigating. That board is supposed to supervise Hurdle and Doherty. This investigation has definitely put him under scrutiny. It's not clear what they make of the problems. It's not clear what the board members make of the problems. They've not responded to my interview request, but sources say this board has been complacent. They've been asleep at the helm, that they have indulged Hurdle and Doherty. They have ignored complaints about his leadership, and that they may very well keep the findings of this investigation to themselves. At the same time, the people who spoke to the investigator, their anonymity is not being guaranteed.
All right, KPBS investigator Amita Sharma, thank you so much.
Thank you, Peggy.